वर्णं चतुर् प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्न उपशान्तये। गजाननपद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदं तं भक्तानाम् एकदं तं उपास्महे। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवम् उपास्महे। कृष्णं कमलपत्राक्षं पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनं वासुदेवं जगद्योनिं नौमि नारायणं हरिं। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपुत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः विप्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः। ॐ नमो भगवत्यै दुर्गाम्बिकायै नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। देवी प्रपन्नार्तिहरे प्रसीद प्रसीद मातः जगतोऽखिलस्य प्रसीद विश्वेश्वरि पाहि विश्वं त्वमीश्वरी देवी चराचरस्य या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै नमो नमः। ॐ या देवी सर्वभूतेषु मातृरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। ॐ जयन्ती मङ्गला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोऽस्तु ते। जय त्वं च देवी चामुण्डे जय भूतार्तिहारिणी जय सर्वगते देवी कालरात्रि नमोऽस्तु ते। दुर्गाम्बिका हेलो हेलो। Yeah, I'm just in a Durga Saptasati class. After 1 hour, I will talk to you, Amma. Okay? Thank you. जय त्वं देवी जय मुण्डे जय भूतार्तिनारिणी हारिणी जय सर्वगते देवी कालरात्रि नमोऽस्तु ते। ॐ नमो भगवत्यै दुर्गाम्बिकायै सर्वार्तिहर हरिण्यै नमो नमः. So now we are in the yajna of doing the Parayanam and Adhyayanam of the Durga Saptasati, which contains 700 slokas and which are all mantras. Every sloka, every word is mantra and highly energetic, and it is able to provide us the Arti Harana, a most important thing that would happen in this birth, because all people get on to this world only to do punyam or papam. See, because punya lokam cha punya papanam, the lokam is only to do punyam and papam. So it all depends upon, and for that sadhana is the body. Sariram adyam sadhanam, dharma sadhanam anta ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕಾಳಿದಾಸ. So now we'll just try to go with the 8th chapter of the Uttama Charitam of Durga Saptasati. And in the 7th chapter, we notice that Ammavaru was able to fight with Chanda and Munda Rakshasas, the very important Senadhipatis of the Sumbhani Sumbhadaityas. And when those two stalwarts in the army of Chandamunda, I mean, that in the army of the Sumbhani Sumbhas are out, then there was no alternative, but the Sumbha himself has to come to the war to find, because all the war with Ammavaru was only to win her. That was the objective with which the Sumbhanisambhas, because she refused to admit the idea to marry one of them or both of them, because she had made a oath that unless somebody who is more Balavan, more Viryavan, who is able to defeat her in the war, then him only she will marry. So that was the condition, and so these two people became very much angry upon her, and they tried to send some their own chieftains, but they got killed there, and Dhumraksha was one, and all of them are killed. Now, I'm just to start with the Dhyana Slokam of Ashtamodhyaya, where Ammavaru is in the form of a Bhavani, because Bhavani is a wonderful selected name for Ammavaru, because in Shankaracharya, our Guru also acknowledged that of all the names and kirtis that Ammavaru has had or is having, is Bhavani, because Bhava Shabda implies many things. Bhava is actually Shiva. Bhavani is the simple definition is that Bhavani is the consort of Devi, consort of Lord Rudra. So Shiva. And now, and the sloka, Jnana slokam, which is found in the Ashtamodhyaya, is a very popular one, which we use when we recite even the Lalita Sahasranamam, Parayanam, and all those things. So that sloka, we just read again and then go with the text of the whole chapter, where she has direct fight with these Rakshasas. Om Arunam Karuna Antarangitaakshim Dhruta Pasha Ankusha Bana Chapa Hastam Animadi Bhiravrutam Mayukhai Aham Iti Eva Vibhavaye Bhavani Iti Eva Bhavanim Vibhavaye. I just suppose and imagine and then and think that Ammavaru is this. Iti Eva. That means this is the only one. How is she looking like? Arunam. She is crimson in color, quite beautiful, and in her complexion. And Aruna Deva is Surya Bhagavan. When he rises in the east, anybody can see him directly. Arunodaya and Arunagabhasti, well, these are all well acknowledged and praised. In fact, we have got in Taittiriya Aranyaka, the first chapter, our Prathama Prashna is with Aruna Prashna, where Surya Bhagavan, in his multitudinous forms and influence and powers and etc., all of that is there very much. So now she has the wonderful complement. Ammavaru has got Aruna. So she is Aruna Varna, Sobhita, her chari, her appearance and complexion and everything. But how about her inside? She may look costly or she may look very Shanta. That's why we say Yani Rupani Soumyani, Yani Rupani Ghorani. So her Rupas, depending upon the opposite person, if a Shatru it is, she's a Ghora. If a present Bhakta, she's Shanta. So Saumyani Ghorani. But basically, what is she? Her Antaranga is Karuna, filled full with the Daya or compassion. So Dayanದಿಂದ ದಯದಿಂದ ತುಂಬಿದೆ ಅಮ್ಮವಾರು ಹೃದಯದಲ್ಲಿ. That's why even otherwise the gods acknowledge ಚಿತ್ತೆ ಕೃಪಾ ಸಮರ ನಿಷ್ಠುರದ ಚ ದೃಷ್ಟ್ವಾ ದೇವಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಮನಸ್ಸು ನೋಡಿದರೆ ತುಂಬ ಕೃಪಾಪೂರಿತವಾಗಿದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆದರೆ ಅವರ ಸಮರ ನಿಷ್ಠುರತ ಅಂದರೆ if at all when she enters into the war, she will not leave the enemy until she will have a wonderful success. So that is the determination and dexterity and all that she will exhibit when she is in the war. But also Achi is the eye, because her looks are full of karuna, but her actions are not karuna in case he is a dushta danava or dushta daitya or dushta. So she is because very much famous as dushta hantri, ಸುಖದಾಯಿನಿ ದುಃಖಹಂತ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಆ ತಾಯಿಗೆ ಕೀರ್ತಿ, and therefore, and moreover she has got four hands basically, and all the four hands are busy. Pasha, Ankusha, Bana, Chapa. These four things are weapons are there in her hand. Dhrutahastam. Thereby her hands are not free to bless. That's why Shankara in Saundarya tells that only her eyes and then feet are free. Her hands are not free. So that people have to resort to submission to the feet of that. Tavahi charana aveva saranau devi. Amma, only your charanas are our sharanas. So that's why animadi viravrutam mayukhaihi. And moreover, Mayukha is the rays, brilliant, radiant ways, and they are all Aishwarya Yuktas. Anima, Mahima, Garima, Chaiva, Lakhima, Tatha, Praptihi, Prakamyam, Ishatvam, Vasitvam. These are all called the Ashtabhutis. So, Ashtabhuti in the Virajamanamagirata Thai. And I think so. So she has wealth with her, she has weapons with her, and she has got good looks. She looks very attractive. But however she is behaving outside, but there is always karuna in her. Actually, she doesn't want to kill anybody at all, any hero. She wants to give them anybody who just confronts her, they are eligible for moksha only. That's why she will not choose all people to for fight, but only those who are really matured to get moksham, them with them only she will fight. That's why she is having that karuna and yuddhatvam, both things in her heart and action. So that's why this is how the swarupam of Bhavani. Bhavani vibhavaye. Vibhavana is the think. Metaphorically, imagine her personality to be a combination of love, affection, compassion, and looks to be very kind. At the same time, she is holding very powerful weapons in her hand, and she has got rich antecedents and richness with her, and that is how I imagine Ammavaru to be. Now, I am just reading the lesson. Om Rishirvacha. Om Rishirvacha. Chande च निहते दैत्ये मुण्डे च विनिपातिते बहुलेषु च सैन्येषु क्षयति एषयतेषु असुरेश्वरः ततः कोपपराधीनचेताः शुम्भः प्रतापवान् उद्योगं सर्वसैन्यानां दैत्यानाम् आदिदेशः अद्य सर्वबलैः दैत्याः षट् अशीतिः उदायुधाः कम्बूनां चतुरशीति निर्यान्तो स्वबलैर्वृताः. Fifth sloka. कोटिवीर्याणि पञ्चाशत् असुराणां कुलानि वै शतं कुलानि धौम्राणां निर्गच्छन्तु मम आज्ञया. So this is a combing of all the dushtas at a time, and so combing, I mean collecting, gathering all asuras at a common place. It is an interesting thing that Mahadevis or this Krishna and all people, they cannot go in search of ABCD Rakshasas who are very wild and problematic and who deserve to be killed. But if you catch the king who is inimical to her, and to support the king, all people will be out. Thereby, the Yuddha Ranga will be very busy and gathered of so many people. That's exactly what we see here. So when once his Bala, the Chanda and Munda were killed, and many Sainya also got killed, then Ayyavaru ఏమైపోయినాడు? ఈ Sumbha became completely under the control of anger, and his mind was simply burning with anger. He had no control of his own anger because it's always said Kopanalaha anta. So Kopanala andre Kopa is Agni, Kopagni. If once the Agni takes hold, it is very hard for anybody to put out. So Kopam, that's why Shankararu, he says that Kopam Chaka Kopam Ma Karayet. ಅದು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ವೃಥಾ ಕೋಪಂ ಮಾ ಕಾರಯೇತ್. You should not grow angry for no purpose. But there are many short-tempered people who are at loss. So, for example, Ravana, he was having kopam. All instances when any number of his own kith and kin and all people are killed in the battle. So the same tempo is the Subharakshasa. He has his mind, Chetaha, his Chaitanya Shakti was completely pervaded by the Kopam, anger, and therefore he just employed or asked Daityanam Udyogam. See, Sarvasainnyanam Daityanam Udyogam Adidesha. The word Udyoga is interesting, employment. So he just gave employment to all the Rakshasas belonging to his own class. So Udyogam, that is Yogam, that is called yoga, work. Udyoga is a positive activity. So for all the Rakshasas who have got the Rajabhakti, the most positive activity is that they have got to support their king, Rajabhakti. So for the sake of Raja and his emotions and his purpose or mission, Chakta Jivitaha, they don't care their lives, they give up their life also. That's why, as Duryodhana says to Dronacharya, and when he has got 11 Akshohini Sainyam and only 7 Akshohini Sainyam to Arjuna and Pandavas, then he says Jujubi. So our 11 Akshohini Sainyam is so committed, Sarve Madarthe Chakta Jivitaha. All of them are ready to get killed or fight with all the enemies until their last blood, last breath and all that. So this is exactly what we call as udyogam. That's a happy yoga. So yuddha ಮಾಡೋದು ಕೂಡ yoga. That's what we call yuddha yoga. So all the yogas which Krishna taught Arjuna ultimately to merge into the ocean of Yuddha Yoga. That's what is called Udyogam. Daityanam Adidesha. Adidesha is command. So he commanded all the Daityas to get into the work of fighting with the Amavaru. And then he says to them in sloka number 4, he says that Adya 3. Adya sarva balaihi daityaha shat asitihi udayudhaha. Asiti is 80, Shattasauti means 6. So 800 soldiers, and they have to take their balam, their sainyam. Again, the number increases 80,000, 800 or 86. Shadasiti also is 86. So 86 kinds of people with their all Mahabalas or Mahasuras, along with their Sainyams, other two not accepting anybody. That's why the word Sarva Sainyam anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So it is a Sainyam of all people. And again, Sadhya Sarvabalaihi Daityaha Shadasitihi Udayudha. Udayudha means lifting their weapons or making their weapons to action. That's what Udayudha. So Uddhrutaha yadi bhavanti rakshasaha tada Udayudhaha bhavanti. When all the Rakshasas are high rated or highlighted, then they will not keep it, they lifted. In fact, it is said in the Yuddhakanda, when Ravana proposed war with Rama and said his difficulty, all the Rakshasa officers sitting in the cabinet and they stand up with their weapons upheld, upping, oh, Maharaja, we are all there, we support you, we go to war, we kill Rama and Lakshmana and eat all Vanaras. So this was the kind of spirit and talk that Daityas did. Same way, here also it is when Maharaja ordered that all the Daitya Balas should gather together and go. Not all, there are varieties of the Rakshasas, Sainyam, who are experts in different way in the battleground. So them he will just mention. See, Kambunam Chaturasitihi. Kambunam, this is the variety of the, actually Kambu is a Sankham. So the Kambu is a variety probably or a classification among the Rakshasas. As in human beings or Manavas, there are caste system. Probably among the Rakshasas also there is a division of the people. So Kambunam Chaturasiti. Asiti is 84. Yantu Swabalayarvrutaha. So Shadasiti, Chaturasiti. Shadasiti means maybe 66 and Chaturasiti will be 84. So all of them should gather and then immediately jump to the ground of war and then fight with her. And moreover, in the next sloka, fifth one which we read, Koti Viryani Panchashat Asuranam Kulani Vai Satam Kulani Dhaumranam Nirgachantu Mamadnaya. So take it as my command. Then, so all these great people, Koti. So ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಕೋಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ crores of Rakshasas are there. See, look at the whole show. Crores of Rakshasas are there. All these Rakshasas going to the war field will meet a poor lady, Amavaru Kate, with her own limited Sainyam, has got to fight with all. Therefore, the Rakshasas yavaglu more in number. Sajjanaru yavaglu small in number. But ultimately, what is the rule? Dharmameva jayate, satyameva jayate, nanrutam another formula. So, when Krishna or Ishvara Shakti is with support or Ishvara himself present, it is hard for anybody to face the Ishvara and declare victory over the Ishvara. Ishvara, Ishvaranam. Ishvari, Ishvaranam. So Ishvaras are all, and Nama Krishna is said to be Yogishwareswaraha, while Arjuna is only Yogishwara. Arjuna is Yogishwara and Krishna is Yogishwareswara. So with this kind of thing, you observe Panchashat, that is 50. Koti, 50 crore Rakshasas. Imagine the problem that has, because in fact, she wanted to destroy the Rakshasa Kulam who are detrimental to the sadhus and dharmam. Therefore, Koti Viryani Panchasatu, and which is and Kulani Vai. So Koti Viryas and Panchasat Kulas and Shatam Dhaumranam Shatam Kulani. So Dhaumras, Mahasuras and Viryavantas, All these people, they are not to be accepted. They should all in total collectively must go nirgachantu mama agnaya. So Dhaumra Rakshasa Kulani, then Asuranam Kulani, and Koti Viryani Kulani, ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಆ ಯುದ್ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ದಿ ಯುದ್ಧಂ ವೇರ್ ಅಮ್ಮವಾರು ವಿತ್ ಹರ್ ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ ಸೈನ್ಯಂ ಈಸ್ ರೆಡಿ, ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ಸೈನ್ಯಂ, and all these Stri Shaktis are very powerful. They're all committed to pull down because these Rakshasas are those who can be killed only by the Stri Devatas, but not Purusha. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಸಹಸ್ರನಾಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅನೇಕ ದೈತ್ಯ ಹಂತಾರಂ. ಸೊ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಟೇಕನ್ ಎ ಬಿಗ್ ಟೋಲ್ of killing a large number of Rakshasas. And Vishnu Patni Mahalakshmi, and she is also a war goddess. And though she gives you wealth in the house, but she shows Viryam in the battleground. That's why Mahalakshmi, Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, and Mahasaraswati, or otherwise Kali, the Parvati, and Lakshmi and Saraswati, they are all very undefeatable forces. But poor Rakshasas don't understand because they are ridden by the anger. ಕೋಪ ಬಂದಿರುವನಿಗೆ ನಾಶ ಖಂಡಿತಂ. ಕೋಪೋ ಕ್ರುದ್ಧ ಕುರ್ಯಾತ್ ಕಿಮಪಿ ಕ್ರುದ್ಧ ಹನ್ಯಾತ್ ಗುರೂನಪಿ ಕ್ರುದ್ಧ ಪಾಪಿ ಭವತಿ. ಸೊ ಕೋಪ ಒಂದು ಬಂದರೆ ಆ ಕೋಪದಿಂದ ಹಾಳು ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕೋಪಂ ವೃಥಾ ಮಾಗಾರಯೇತ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟೆಂಪರ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೋಪ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ we are all unhappy. Therefore, best thing is to have your emotions. In fact, the Shiva Mahimna Stotram, that Gita has pointed out the 6 Shatrus in our body who have nurtured one of them maximum and had a very unfortunate time. So, you observe, for Kopa, she quoted Ravanasura, for Asuya, Duryodhana, and for like that, we have got all these 6 enemies, and Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. Kamakke Ravanasura. So, iವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ they will bring. And moreover, Tyagaraja, in his compositions, and one of the compositions says, ನಾವು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ನಾದ ಯೋಗದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಕೈಲಾಸ್, IT official at the same time, good musician who learned music in India also. So he has presented, and that has come out in the YouTube forum also, which has been put in the WhatsApp group. So I wish you should read that Nada Yoga. Nada, either Rakshasa Nada or Devanada or whatever, or Pakshi Ninada. ಸೊ ಏನನ್ನಾದರೆ ಆ ನಿನಾದ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶತಂಕುಲಾನಿ ಧೌಮ್ರಾಣಾಂ ನಿರ್ಗಚ್ಚಂತು ಮಮಾಜ್ಞಯ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಫರ್ದರ್ ದೇ ಆರ್. ಸೊ ಶಿವಲಿಂಗ ಇವರೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ನಂಬರ್ 6, 7, 8
ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಿ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಕಾಲಕಾ ದೌಹೃದಾ ಮೌರ್ಯಾ
ಕಾಲಕ ದೌಹೃದ ಮೌರ್ಯ ಕಾಲಕ ದೌಹೃದ ಮೌರ್ಯ
ಕಾಲಿಕೇಯಾಃ ತಥಾ ಸುರಾಃ
ಕಾಲಿಕೇಯಾಸ್ತಥಾ ಸುರಾಃ ಕಾಲಿಕೇಯಾಸ್ತಥಾ ಸುರಾಃ
ಯುದ್ಧಾಯ ಸಜ್ಜಾ ನಿರ್ಯಾಂತು
ಯುದ್ಧಾಯ ಸಜ್ಜಾ ನಿರ್ಯಾಂತು ಯುದ್ಧಾಯ ಸಜ್ಜಾ ನಿರ್ಯಾಂತು
ಆಗ್ನಯಾ ತ್ವರಿತಾ ಮಮ
ಆಜ್ಞೆಯ ತ್ವರಿತಾ ಮಮ ಆಜ್ಞೆಯ ತ್ವರಿತಾ ಮಮ
ಇತಿ ಆಜ್ಞಪ್ಯ
ಇತಿ ಆಜ್ಞಾಪ್ಯ इति आज्ञाप्य
असुरपतिः शुम्भः
वसुरपतिः शुम्भः वसुरपतिः शुम्भः
भैरवशासनः
भैरवशासनः भैरवशासनः
निर्जगाममहासैन्यः
निर्जगाममहासैन्यः निर्जगाममहासैन्यः
सहस्रैः बहुभिः वृतः
सहस्रैर्बहुभिः वृतः सहस्रैर्बहुभिः वृतः.
So here you understand something like Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, Sudra, etc., etc. There are so much of division of the caste system and Varna system and Jati system in our among the people. Even among the Rakshasas, we have some categorization, classification of the Rakshasa community. And each Rakshasa is dangerous, but among the danger, yet more dangerous people are there. So they are all committed to do himsa, committed to do adharma, committed to do all activities connected to nasha. Therefore, and they should not be there. In fact, in Bhagavatam, it has been said when Pralayam took place, when Brahmadeva was created by Vishnu, and he was asked by Vishnu, Bhagavan, Ishvara to start creation. Then Vishnu went to rest. But what he did, Brahmadeva first of all created lot of negativity, infectious diseases, infecting creatures, and adu idu tumba. So ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಮಾಡಿ first of all he has done all negativity creation. ದೈತ್ಯ ರಾಕ್ಷಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಏ ಕ್ಯಾ ಕರ್ ರಹಾ ಹೂँ, ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್. And she found everywhere all negative people, rakshasas, infections, diseases, problems. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ suddenly he got a light. No, I should do something. Then when he asked his father, that, then he said, you perform penance. Again, second time, Brahmadeva performed penance for another 1,000 years and got power in him, and with that power he created the positivity. Thereby you observe the negativity is more in the world than positivity in that. And people who will do bad things are more than commit only good things. So that is there is a lot of imbalance in the among the population, among the people. ಈ ಇಂಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಮಹಾ ಕಷ್ಟ. ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ಇಂಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ರಿಪೇರ್, ಪರಮಾತ್ಮ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಅವತಾರ and Shiva has to do Amsa avatars. People say today is Hanumat Jayanti, and Hanuman is Shiva Amsa Jataha. Though so he is completely representing. How do you know, sir? People say that when he gave a big blow to Lankini in the Ramayanam, and Lankini fell down, and afterwards she came up and made namaskara to Anjaneya, because she remembered the Shivamsa Bhutaha Anjaneyaha Yada Vanar Rupena, when he comes in the form of Vanara and makes you fall down if the blow, then you remember the Shiva has come and the devastation time has begun from your fall on the ground. So Avaga she thought, Shivane ಬಂದು ನಾನು ಸಿಟಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಸಿಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎ ಗಾರ್ಡಿಯನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಹಿಮ್, ದೋ ರಾವಣ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಮೀ ಟು ಡೂ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ರಾವಣ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ, Anjaneya is primary. So I just give the entire Lanka to your control, sir. So she disappeared, she got moksha. So Lankini is one. Similarly, Putana is another in Krishna Avataram. Putana was given the moksham. So she gave to suckle the baby Krishna, but he suckled the blood of her and killed. So ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪುರಾಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಐ ಮೀನ್ the annual day celebrations, we will have an opportunity to think of all these people, how they are all depicted in Puranas, why they are depicted in Puranas, in order to give a kind of moral instruction and behavioral excellence, conduct skills to all people at all generations. Therefore, we say that Vyasaya Vishnu Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanidhaye Vasisthaya Namo Namaha ಅಂತ ಆ ವ್ಯಾಸ ಮಹರ್ಷಿಗಳಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಪುರಾಣಗಳನ್ನು ಅಷ್ಟಾದಶ ಪುರಾಣಗಳು ಅಷ್ಟಾದಶ ಉಪುರಾಣಗಳು ಆ ಪುರಾಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರ್ಕಂಡೇಯ ಪುರಾಣ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನೌ ಅಟ್. So Markandeya Maharshi is a Chiranjeevi. You all know that. And he was the only one Chiranjeevi, one of the Chiranjeevis who could see Krishna, Mahavishnu or Krishna, a small boy, floating on a Vatapatra and putting his foot finger in his mouth and giving a brilliance with all brilliance. And that darshanam was being given to the Markandeya Maharshi in the darkness. When Vishnu came in that form, then the entire area was lit with light and brilliance and radiance. And that's why, not able to control, that Mukundamala writer, that Kulasekara Alvar, I think so, he says, Padaravindam Mukharavinde Vinivesayantam Vatasya Patrasya Pute Sayanam Balam Mukundam Manasa Smarami. So this is a boy. This is a Krishna, is a Balaka floating on the Vatapatra. And that kind of posture you can always see in your babies for just a while. ಯಾರಿಗಾದರೂ ಬೇಬೀಸ್ ಬಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ವಾಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಫ್ಲ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರೌಂಡ್, ನಾಟ್ ಡೆವಲಪಿಂಗ್ ಲೆಗ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫೀಟ್, that baby boy would keep the foot finger into the mouth and give a posture. In fact, I had that kind of experience, and I took a photograph of that when it was given to us on screen. So, Padaravindam Mukharavinde Vinavayasayantam. The Pada and Mukha and hand, everything is a totality of a wonderful, majestic personality. So, here you see the Rakshasa count is so many, and with all that preparatory balam, that Shumbhasura will move towards the battleground, and such a huge army. But Amavaru is not afraid of that huge army. Like even Hanuman also, today his Hanuman Jayanti, we remember him. The more and more Rakshasas are coming, like Akshakumara with large army, then other Senadhipatis, and even finally that Indrajit. So when all these fellows are coming, Anjaneya Swami, Hanuman, entertained a great Yuddhotsaha. He was not scared at all. He went on fighting with any and everybody of the Rakshasas who came and destroyed them. In the Sabha, that Prahasta, I think so, would ask a question, why did you kill so many Rakshasas? And why did you destroy the Ashoka Vanam, which is well liked by our boss, Ravanasura? ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಬಂದೆ, ನಾನು ವನವಾಸಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಎ ಮಂಕಿ, ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಎ ಶಾಖಾಮೃಗ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಶಾಖಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮವರೇ ರಾಕ್ಷಸರು ಬಂದು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಸಾಯಿಸಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಮೈ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಡಿಫೆನ್ಸ್ ಐ ಫಾಟ್ ದೆಮ್. ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ಬೈ ಹಿ ಸೀಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ there is no aparadha on the part of the Hanuman, but all the aparadha is on the side of only Ravanasura, who went on sending his own Rakshasas, with whom I had to fight and kill them. So that's a wonderful answer given. So here, when such a large army came, ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ Nirjaga Ityajnapta Asurapatihi Sumda Bhairavasasana. So all the army, crores of them, being commanded like the Simbha Rakshasa Mahasura. And who is Mahasura? Bhairavasasana. That means say that nobody can say no, I can't go. No reply. Rajagna is simply command. So the command by king is simply final. There is no revision. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸತೀಶ್ ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ ವೆನ್ ದಿರ್ ಸಮ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಕೊನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಟೈಪಿಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಬೈ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಅಂತ, ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ? And even the superannuation or retirement letter also will be there. Having reached superannuation, you are hereby retired ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸಂತಕ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಆಫೀಸರು ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೈ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಬೈ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ನು ಅಪೀಲಿಂಗೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಅಪೀಲ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡನ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ, ಪೀಪಲ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ದೇರ್. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಭೈರವ ಶಾಸನ. You know who is Bhairava? Kala Bhairava. There are Ashta Bhairavas. Vatuga Bhairava, Kala Bhairava and all. So ಈ ಅಷ್ಟ ಭೈರವರ ಶಕ್ತಿ, ಕೋಪ ಇವನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕೃತವಾಗಿದೆ. It's all centered in him, and especially with regard to the Shasanam. So when Bhairava came to destroy the Daksha Yagna on the command of Rudra, so imagine he came with such anger and havoc. He saw that the head of Daksha Prajapati was cut off. Later on, he was given only a goat head, transplantation of head, because of his remorses. So you know the Daksha. That's why Ammavarige compliment ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಲಲಿತಾ ಸಹಸ್ರನ ದಕ್ಷ ಯಜ್ಞ ವಿನಾಶಿನಿ, ದಕ್ಷಾಧ್ವರ ವಿನಾಶಿನಿ. So she made her own father to suffer when he wanted to do the Ashivam Yagnam, when he wanted to perform a sacrifice without interference or invitation to Lord Rudra and so on. Anyway, so that's why he's called Bhairava. And among all Bhairavas, the Kala Bhairava is more popularly known. See, Kala Bhairava is the Kshetrapati of Kashi. Therefore, we have got Kala Bhairava Ashtakam. In fact, last Shivaratri, from Ujjaini, some priests have been invited to Indianapolis, Indiana state, and they came and decked and made Alankara for the Mrutyunjaya Linga, 10 feet tall, in the Hindu temple of America, Indianapolis, as the Bhairava, Kala Bhairava Swarupam, and was simply imposing to look at. Anyway, so Shasanadalli, Bhairava is simply unmatchable. That's why he is called as the Bhairava Shasana. So ಈ Bhairava and their consort is called Bhairavi. So Bhairavaha is Bhairavi, and we have got also Ragam by name Bhairavi Ragam, and some people are there who love it, who promote it. Anyway, so Bhairava Shasanaha, and ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಸುಂದಹ ಮಹಾಸೈನ್ಯ ಸಹಸ್ರೈಹಿ ಬಹುಭಿಹಿ ವೃತಃ ನಿರ್ಜಗಾಮ. That Sumbhasura, being accompanied by a large number of people, army, large army, very huge army, he came out to the war ground. Nirjagama. Jagama is the past tense. Nirjagama means completely with a determination. Normally, when you go for a work, one has to go with a determination, dexterity, and discipline. Only then you will be. So that's why my professor used to say, "Sir, 3 Ds ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಗೋಪಿಚಂದ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು." So 3 Ds ಇದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, we are successful. Discipline, dexterity, and so all they just came out. And now you ನೋಡಿ ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ 8th ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಆಯಾಂತಂ ಚಂಡಿಕಾ ದೃಷ್ಟ್ವಾ
ಆಯಾಂತಂ ಚಂಡಿಕಾ ದೃಷ್ಟ್ವಾ आयान्तं चण्डिका दृष्ट्वा
तत्सैन्यमतिभीषणम्
तत्सैन्यमतिभीषणम् तत्सैन्यमतिभीषणम्
जास्वनैः पूरयामास
जास्वनैः पूरयामास जा जास्वनैः पूरयामास
धरणी गगनान्तरम्
धरणी गगनान्तरम् धरणी गगनान्तरम्
సో అమ్మవారు ఏం చేసింది అంటే అంత పెద్ద సైన్యంతో వస్తుంటే తన ధనుస్సును జ్యాస్వనము ఆ ధనుష్టంకారం చేసింది. ఆ ఎంత అంటే ది సౌండ్ ఇస్ సో టెరిబుల్ అండ్ సో ఎక్స్పాన్సివ్ దట్ ఇట్ వాస్ టెరిఫైయింగ్ ధరణి గగన అంతరం. దట్ ఈస్ త్రీ లోకాస్. ధరణి ఈస్ ది అర్త్, గగన ఈస్ ది హెవెన్, ಅಂತರಂ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಅಂತರಿಕ್ಷ ಲೋಕ. ಸೊ ಮೂರು ಲೋಕಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತವಾಗಿ ಆ ಧ್ವನಿ ಮಾಡಿದಾಳೆ. ಪೂರಯಾಮಾಸ, ಶಿ ಫಿಲ್ಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅತಿಭೀಷಣಂ ಸೈನ್ಯಂ ದೃಷ್ಟ್ವಾ. ಹೌ ವಾಸ್ ದಿ ಸೈನ್ಯಂ ಟು ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್? ಅತಿಭೀಷಣಂ. ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ಟೆರಿಬಲ್, ಟೆರಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್, very highly terrifying large army. That's why in Gayatri Ramayanam, in the Devi Bhagavatam, అమ్మవారి యొక్క శబ్దాన్ని, ఈ శబ్దాన్ని ఇంకొక రకంగా వర్ణిస్తారు. ఏమి? న్యంకారధ్వనినా త్వం హి దుష్ట రాక్షస బంధిని త్వామహం ప్రార్థయిష్యామి ఐశ్వర్యం దేహి మే సదా ಅಂತ. ನ್ಯಂಕಾರಧ್ವನಿನ ಣ್ಯಂ ಅಂತ ಶಬ್ದದಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಾಕ್ಷಸರು ಗಾಟ್ ಟೆರಿಫೈಡ್. ನ್ಯಂಕಾರಧ್ವನಿನ ತ್ವಂ ಹಿ ದುಷ್ಟ ರಾಕ್ಷಸ ಬಂಧಿನಿ. She will tie up, she will kill, she will do all havoc to the dushta rakshasas. And such effect is the is the Nyankara Dhvani. So it is reaching all places. So I think here we have made the Rakshasas, the Sumbha Rakshasa, together with a huge army, reaching the war ground. So Amavaru, with all her limited Shakti Sainyam, looking at that huge army, she got not scared because she's a Bhavani. See, Animadivaravrita Bhayani, and Karuna Antarangitakshi Bhavani, and Dhruta Pasha Ankushadharini Bhavani, and Aruna Bhavani. So this kind of Bhavani, she became ready. She first replied the army or started the war with the Shankhanada. All normally Shankhanada will be there. But in case of the Yuddham between these two people, Amavaru and Subhasura, then it was all with the Dhanushtankara, with the sound of the Dhanush. The whole thing has taken place. So that why next we'll see how the battle grow between the chief Rakshasa, Mahasura, who is a Varaputra, in a sense that he acquired a lot of, but in the list of the boons, they failed to ask death in the hands of a stree woman. ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ದೇವತಾ, ಸ್ತ್ರೀಯರಿಂದ ಮರಣವನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ರಾವಣಾಸುರ, ಹೂ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಮಾನವಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾನರಾಸ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಮಾನವ ಅಂಡ್ ವಾನರ. ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಿಷ್ಣು ಫೌಂಡ್ ದಿ ಲೂಪ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್. ರಂಧ್ರಾನ್ವೇಷಣೋ ಹಿ ವಿದ್ವೇಷಣ ಅಂತ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎನಿಮೀಸ್ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಇವಾಗ ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ದೇವತೆಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗಿಂದ ಸಾವನ್ನು ಅವ್ರು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಥಾಟ್ ವುಮನ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಫ್ರೈಲ್ ಲೇಡಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶಿ ಡೂ? ಅಬಲ. ಈ ಅಬಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಮಹಾಕಾಳಿ, ಮಹಾಶಕ್ತಿಯುತ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ದೇವತಾಸ್. ಎನಿವೆ, ಐ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿ. ಓಂ ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿ.
ಓಂ ಸಹನಾ ಭವತು ಸಹನೋ ಭುನಕ್ತು ಸಹ ಬೀಜಂ ಕರವಾವಹೈ ತೇಜಸ್ವಿನಾವಧೀತಮಸ್ತಮಾ ವಿದ್ವಿಷಾವಹೈ. ओम शांति शांति शांतिः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ओम शांति शांति शांतिः हरिः ओम तत्सत् सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु श्रीवासुदेवार्पणमस्तु श्रीवेदपुरुषाशीर्वादोऽस्तु ओम श्री मातृचरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु ओम तत्सत् हरि ओम नमस्ते
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಗುರು, ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.